First, I want to welcome you to the Real Property Transfer Estimate Form. This form is a great resource if you want to know what your transfer cost is specifically to your situation. All of the costs may not apply to you, so you could choose to say no, you don't need them, and you'll see that on this form. But if you haven't already watched the search cost by map tutorial, that'll be a great resource, like a prerequisite to this form, so that you'll know what your cost is and where the numbers are actually coming from. So if you haven't already watched that, I advise that you go back and watch that. If you have, let's move forward and you'll get a chance to see specifically how you could accurately estimate your costs for your specific transfer. So when you arrive to this form, make sure you read the paragraph here. One of the most important things is that it says that all of the service charges for Trio are added into your final estimate. So you don't have to worry about if you owe the city and then you have to pay Trio for the service. These services are combined. The municipality requirements and fees and Trio's service fees are your final estimate, and you'll see that when we get done. So let's dig into the form by clicking next. At the very top, you'll see a status bar which tells you how far you are into the form and how much more you got to go, so you can keep track of that. The next banner right under the status bar, it allows you to create a login so that you can come back to the form. Realistically, the form, if you know exactly what you're looking for and what services that you need, it shouldn't take you no more than 5 minutes to get through this form, get your estimate, get your email, or purchase the service at the end. If not, then you could always create a login and come back to the form if something else of importance comes up in the middle of you doing this. You don't have to leave the work that you've already done. You could come back, use your password, and it'll start you where you left off. So let's jump right into this form. The name or the name of the business that's purchasing the service. So I'll use my name and the address of the business so we can get through this form. You also need the date, so let's put the date. We'll put the day's date, and make sure that you have the correct email down here at the bottom, because that's the email that this system is going to send your estimate to. So you'll have that for future references. If you choose to purchase the service right then and there, you'll get an invoice. If not, you will get your estimate form by choosing a proper email here, and make sure you have the right one, and so you can receive your estimate. So now that we got that information in, let's go next. See our status bar at the top, it's moving. Now we at 22%. This is the recording service page. Do you need to record a document? If you need to record a document, you click yes. If you don't, you click I do not need to record. So for the purposes of this example, I just want to show you what happens when you hit next. Yes. Let's hit yes. And you see we have two more options that pops up. We have a page number option, and we have the type of document that you want to record. So the reason why we have the page number option is because in counties where you're recording documents, that's how they calculate the cost, by the number of pages that you're recording. So literally, you will count your pages of the document that you're trying to record, and you would choose the number of pages. So I'll just say 2 pages. Normally deeds are 2 pages. So what type of document that I'm trying to record? You can see there's an option for just about any kind of document that you want to record. If not, then go with the default of warranty deed, and then you give me a call and we'll adjust it if your document is not on this list, but more than likely it is. So we'll say warranty deed. Warranty deed, right? So what happens if I don't need the service? If I choose I do not need the service, all of that will disappear. You don't have to fill out unnecessary information, right? It'll totally disappear. So let's hit yes, and we're going to use a warranty deed that has 2 pages. And if I want to know how much this costs, I can click this calculate button and it'll tell me how much my services cost so far. And every page has that calculate button at the top, and it'll tell you how much your services cost so far, right? Depends on how far you into the form, what services you need. Is going to tell you how deep you are into the cost of your estimate. So let's go next. Next, we have our water service page. Do you need a water certification or not? If you need a water certification, you hit yes. And then you would have to choose the type of home that you need the services for. If you have a condo, you click condo, you're done. There's nothing else that you need to do. The city is going to charge you $50 for your certification. Trio will charge you $50 for the service for going to get that certification for you, right? And this applies if you have a homeowners association that takes care of the water for you, and you'll know that just by your paid assessment letter that you received. It tells you if you have charges or not. If they take care of the water, then you only need the certification. So if you have a single family, that's a different situation. You might have a meter reading that you need done on the house in order to determine what your water charges are. And if you have that, I advise that you put that number here. You can put whatever the charge is there, right? Whatever that charge is, you put it in right there after you receive that water meter reading. And for accuracy, you definitely want to put it there because you'll see it at the end on this estimate form. But if you don't have it, it's not required, right? Because you can still move through the form. But if you do, it helps with accuracy. So add that if you have the meter reading. If not, then you could add it later to your final estimate. So for the purposes of this example, we're going to have a condo today. So I'm going to show you what happens on the next page, and then we'll come back to this. Next, we don't have 2 more requirements. If you have a single family, there is a zoning certificate and a survey that you may need for your property. Either you could allow Trio to take care of that for you, or you use an outside service to take care of it. Either way, it's a requirement. It's actually a regulation that calls for that if you're going to transfer your property legally. So let's go back. I'm going to show you. You click single family, go next, and now you see the zoning certification and the survey. You need those if you have a single family, right? I just wanted to show you that they disappear if you click condo, and they appear if you hit single family. So let's go back and click our condo. Go next. We don't have the survey or the zoning certification on the page, right? We don't need building registration. This is for properties that's over 4 units, 5 and above. Commercial properties, you may need a building registration. It doesn't apply to this because we have a condo for our example. Vacant property registration, you don't need that. This is for empty houses that's been vacated for 30 days or more. You may need that. So let's move forward. We're going to say we don't need that. We don't need that. Let's see what our calculation is. Right, $200. We got our recording and we got our water certification. That's why it's $200. So next, going to the next page.